Hey guys, what's going on? So I know it's been a couple weeks since I last uploaded. Something just happened in the last week, so I just haven't been in the right mindset to do anything. As you can tell with the title of this video, I am done for the season, at least as of right now. I'll tell you kind of the short, quick story of what happened. I finally got that impeller that I've been waiting on for the last 3 weeks from Supercharger Rebuilds. I installed it, installed the supercharger, hooked everything back up, fired up the car, let it run for a couple seconds, just so I can get some heat into those headers because I did paint them. So just to get that paint baked on. I shut it off, I adjusted the belt, made sure that the volute wasn't contacting the impeller, made new hold downs for the volute as well. I could shake the whole car, that volute wasn't coming back off. Anyways, I went to go rev it up quick just to make sure it was all good before I pulled the car off the stands. The car reached around 5,000 RPM and the lower half of the impeller just completely disintegrated. It broke the volute off my supercharger. It machined the case of the supercharger. There's a bunch of play on my output shaft. The impeller's obviously garbage. It looked like a shotgun went off into my intake tubes. Yeah, the supercharger is completely garbage. I'll show you all the carnage here. So this is the impeller that I got from Supercharger Rebuilds. I sent him a picture and let him know what happened. He pretty much said, shitty deal, never seen that before. I even asked him how he builds these pieces of crap because it looks like a two-piece impeller. He said no, it's a one-piece, but if you look at this, it's perfectly machined, smooth for the lower half. And it's got like a perfect radius machined into it. So I'm assuming it's like a two-piece or something and they press it together, or I'm not sure what the hell this thing is, but yeah, you can tell that the lower half just completely disintegrated, and that's pretty much what happened. So he also said that I should have went with a billet impeller because it's race. I was kind of confused with that statement because it's a V7 YSI. It's built for 1300 horsepower. That's what you would imagine is for race, but yeah. And the original impeller that came out of the supercharger is cast aluminum as well, so you would figure that they would build an impeller that is suitable for the supercharger, or they should put note only spin up to half speed of supercharger. So I don't know, that's just my feeling on it. I'll show you the rest. This is my volute. As you can tell, it didn't really pull the bolts out, it just pretty much broke the volute in half in order to get it off. So the volute's garbage. There's a chunk stuck in there in it. Like I said, the input shaft, I think it sucked in some debris and the bearings out of it. It machined the case of the supercharger. So this supercharger is garbage as far as I'm concerned. I could probably see if Vortec could repair it, but they'll probably just sit back and laugh and just tell me to buy a new one because of, like, there's no good parts anymore. You know what I mean? I also took the intake tubes off just to see if it got to the motor, and from here it looks like it did. I did shut it down pretty quick. It sounded like a bomb went off, so hopefully it didn't go too far into the engine, but it definitely made it up to the throttle body. So I think I'll definitely take the engine apart and clean it all up and just inspect it. I'd hate to cost myself an engine as well. So yeah, that's pretty self-explanatory of what happened. Sucks that I had to wait 3 weeks on a part that would cost me my supercharger and the rest of my season. So that definitely makes me feel sick to my stomach. There's no doubt in my mind that this is some two-piece of crap, so I would not recommend buying this from him. I don't know what his billet ones are like, but after this I've had enough with that. I would recommend just sending your superchargers to the manufacturer themselves. Considering I waited 3 weeks for this, I know when Ronnie sent his out, I think it took about 2 weeks for him, and we're in Canada. So I'm a do-it-yourselfer, but for what this just cost me, I should have just sent it to Vortec. But whatever, it is what it is. That's racing. Keep rolling with the punches. So yeah, I could probably go out and buy a new supercharger or find a used one. But I was thinking of changing the setup here in the next year or so. I was thinking of going to a big single turbo setup. So I think now's the time to do it now. I could spend the $3,600 US, which is probably 5 grand Canadian, to buy a new one, new supercharger. But I don't see the point of forking all that money out just to get right back to where I already was. The supercharger is currently maxed out. It's spinning at 68. You're only supposed to spin it to 66, so it says Vortec. I could probably change the heads on the car just to bump up the compression a little bit so I can run less boost with the same amount of power, or I could run the same amount of boost with more power. I'm still running the factory ECM, and it is giving me some troubles with timing at wide open throttle. So if I could figure that out, it probably could help, but it's getting to the point where it is a small tire car and it is starting to get kind of fast. I'm going to have to start building ramps and everything in order to make the car hook. So I think I'm done with the factory ECM. I think I'm ready to go to Holley or some aftermarket ECM where I can tune it better for the track. I'm sure there's ways out there to make the factory ECM work, but I'm happy with it. I've gone as far as I want with it. I think it's time to upgrade. I'm not sure what to do with all my free time now. This is my passion, this is my life, and now it's done for a while. As far as content wise, I'm going to try to do my best. Maybe I can do a video of me ripping it apart here just to clean it all up and inspect the motor, but that won't be for a little bit. I'm mostly going to rely on Ronnie and Lee for some videos just because their cars are still mobile. Yeah guys, the future, I'm assuming it's going to be a big single turbo setup. So hopefully I can get some sponsors on board and help me out. I wish, but yeah, should be good content for you guys. Should be awesome for me. I'd love to build my own turbo manifolds and all the tubing, stuff like that. It'd be a good learning experience for me and for you. We'll see what the future holds for the car, and we'll go from there. Might be out for this season, but it'll be back for vengeance next. And yeah. Anyways, guys, keep following us. I'll do my best for content. Like always, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys soon. See you guys.